South Coast Air Quality Management District, Tape 4, the meeting of March 7th, 2008. The big issue at this meeting was fireplace pollution, and it was covered by several news vans. So will the Air Resources Board introduce a rule requiring people not to use their fireplaces? Now, this is very important because fireplaces are, terribly polluting, especially if you burn wood that has toxic in it or paint on it. But it's nothing compared to refinery pollution, which the board is studiously ignoring, not to mention automobile pollution, which they're also studiously ignoring. Here to cover this issue, you notice there's all these news vans here, and here's one big old van running its generator all the time, not plugging into the existing power because they don't want to bother with an extension cord. And these people are supposed to be covering clean air. But this is the hidden secret of their hypocrisy. The Air Resources Board and the AQMD spend about $300 million of taxpayer money every year. The return on this investment is almost nil. You're wasting money on ridiculous, of course this is a good regulation, it should be dealt with, but there's all these refineries that need enforcement. How come you're not enforcing the rules, air rules on the refineries? How come you're not talking about air pollution from gas cars? Because basically those people are much more powerful than the homeowners. In 1975, I called AQMD, and a guy came down for refinery pollution. A guy came down with a briefcase, three-piece suit, 3 in the morning. Oh yes, we get them every night, 40 or 50 complaints. What's the maximum penalty? Oh, $500. That's just the cost of doing business. Now you go down to the same place, the same time right now, you'll see the same pollution. It was one of the reasons we had to move out of Long Beach, because I have asthma. What about the kids who can't? What about the kids who live there and every night the refineries are pouring this stuff into the air? And you're diddling around with emissions from gasoline because you are too afraid of the oil lobby and the auto lobby to force electric cars, and you're too afraid of the diesel industry to force solar power, and you're too afraid of the oil industry to attack refineries, which is the real pollution. Now, in 2003, we also called the AQMD to try to get justice from the Orange County Sewage District from the air pollution. There was no response. They said, why don't you call the sewage district, complain to them first, then we maybe send somebody out. Now, this is the kind of enforcement we're talking about. You're just fiddling around. You're wasting our money. You're not doing anything meaningful, and all you're doing is giving aid and comfort to the people that are polluting our air. Go after the refineries. Go after big oil. They've got all the money. This business about mom and pop oil stations is baloney. Back when the big majors bought up all the oil, these small producers, you have to go to 200,000 gallons a month now. We hear this garbage about, oh, what about the poor mom and pops? That's all baloney. Show me the numbers. I bet one hand you can find the mom and pops. All those independent distributors are gone, a thing of the past. Big oil's got the money and they own the board.
Thank you.
And here we see, the hidden fact of what the refineries do at nighttime is they're busily releasing all this stuff. It goes up, but it comes down into little kids' lungs. Look at that stuff, just continuously coming out. And now actually the board is trying to refute what I have to say and claiming that they actually regulate.
I've been on this board 4 years, I've never seen him. And for him to imply that this board does not do anything to refineries is ridiculous. If WSPA's still here, I'm sure they would get up and testify that
they'll be back.
The most regulated industry in the South Coast Plaza. So, sir, you need to be attending more meetings to really get a hold on what this board does.
Maybe you ought to get out instead of attending meetings.
The refineries very heavily. And Mr. Wallerstein, if you would, again, repeat the reason that the South Coast Air Quality District has to have some kind of a fireplace wood burning rule. The rule is what's called all feasible measures, which the board is supposed to take. Now, obviously,
they don't think going up against refineries is feasible. So instead, they go up against, the little people to try to bully them. Oh, God, it smells like sulfur and death. And look at this stuff just going right up into the air, into kids' lungs. I mean, all night long with no regulation. The Air Resources Board does nothing. The South Coast Air Quality Management District does nothing. This is allowed to go on night after night. Right over this rise, there's kids.